All right, my people, welcome to our news platform. Welcome to my channel where you get the updated news and information on things where they happen for the land. Please subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification, and definitely we will notify you whenever we drop our spanking news. Without wasting much of your time, make we give you, the story we will carry on for you today. The Chief of Defense Staff yesterday came out and said so many things about Simon Ekpa, on how he has been the one, fostering the insecurity in the southeastern part of the country, on how he should be stopped by the federal government, on how the Finnish government needs to do something to stop Simon Ekpa. He said a lot of things, against Simon Ekpa. But out of everything he said, he made it clear that Simon Ekpa is causing the insecurity in the southeastern part of the country and thereby frustrating their effort, to stop the insecurity in the country. The issue here is what effort have they been making to actually, curtail the insecurity in the southeastern part of the country? That is the big question. But running away from that question, because that is not why we are here, Simon Ekpa have actually come out, to reply the service chief. I know Simon Ekpa was going to say something about it, because he's one guy that he doesn't care who you are. He doesn't care, what you do, the power you possess. Simon Ekpa will always talk back. Simon Ekpa will always reply. And Simon Ekpa is one man we know that does not even give a damn about anybody. He is fearless. Yeah, he is fearless. And that is why he has been on the forefront of this Biafran struggle since, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was abducted. So on that note, Simon Ekpa claps back at CDS, Chief Defense Staff, over claims he is frustrating their effort in the southeastern part of the country. Straight up, make we give you the news, make you hear wetin Simon Ekpa talk concerning that matter. But do not forget to subscribe to this channel if you've not yet subscribed, and turn on your notifications so that you get notified whenever we drop our spanking news. The news in detail. Biafran agitator Simon Ekpa has clapped back at the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, after he accused him of being a menace in the southeast. During a meeting with the House of Representatives on Tuesday, November 21, Musa described Ekpa as a menace to and seek extradition for the Finland-based Biafran agitator. He also blamed the Finnish government for supporting them. He also blamed the Finnish government for supporting Ekpa. Simon Ekpa has become a menace to the country. Finland is having a free way, encouraging him to do what he is doing by his utterances and action is affecting what is happening in Nigeria, the CDS said. Simon Ekpa, the self-acclaimed Prime Minister of Biafra, has been known as Nnamdi Kanu's second in command following his arrest by the Department of State Security. Do not forget that Nnamdi Kanu was abducted by DSS. We continue with the news. Since Kanu's abduction, Ekpa declared series of sit-at-home order in the southeast in an attempt to force the government to release its leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. Reacting to the Chief of Defense Staff claim that he is responsible for the menace happening in the southeast, Ekpa said he would continue to unleash terror on the Nigerian army sent to Biafran territory. He also described the Nigerian soldiers as the highest menace. You are the highest menace against Biafran people, and I am dealing with you and your Islamic State terrorists decisively until you pull your terrorists at headquarters Nigerian army and other terrorist forces out of Nigerian territory. Please ask them, terrorists at headquarters Nigerian army, are you tired of calling us terrorists? Or that name didn't move market again? All I am hearing is agitator. They think they can intimidate us to succumb to their killing. And that is that on that issue. I've said this again, I've said it time without number. The Nigerian army has no right, to come out and blame Simon Ekpa, for the issue happening in the southeastern part of the country. They should also blame themselves, because they have actually caused a lot of terror in the southeastern part of the country. They have done, they've not been able to handle the issue of insecurity the right way. They haven't been able to handle the issue of insecurity the right way, in the sense that the manner in which they have handled the issue of insecurity has actually cost a lot of lives and properties in the southeastern part of the country. So if Ekpa decide to defend his people, then he has every right to do so, because the Nigerian security operatives have actually failed, to do the needful in protecting lives and property. And also, do not also forget that one thing that Simon Ekpa has been clamoring for since his emergence is the release of Onyendo Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This is one thing Simon Ekpa has been speaking, apart from the issue of the Biafran freedom. Simon Ekpa has not given up on the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is even what actually brought about the sit-at-home orders, the back-to-back sit-at-home. This is exactly what has been causing the back-to-back sit-at-home initially. So has it been that the Nigerian government did their assignment, did their homework, did their own part by releasing Nnamdi Kanu, even after a court of competent jurisdiction gave an order, for the Nigerian government to release him, assuming, they did their own part of the bargain by releasing Nnamdi Kanu, this whole issue, wouldn't have actually gotten to this level. That is just my own stake on that matter. The Nigerian government did not do their own part, and that is why it has resulted, to the problem that we are facing today in the southeastern part of the country. And finally, make I go straight to the second news where I carry on for you, and this one, it concerns indigenous people of Biafra. IPOB disowns suspect arrested for extorting Anambra resident with death threat. The news in detail. The indigenous people of Biafra IPOB has denied 3 persons arrested by the Anambra State Police Command for extorting members of the public and issuing death threats. The men were arrested in Umunze and Ozubulu, Orumba South and Ekusigo local government areas. The suspect posing as commanders of the militant wing of the indigenous people of Biafra Eastern Security Network, ESN, specialize in sending messages to residents and threatening to kill or kidnap them and their relatives except they pay some specified sums of money. But the indigenous people of Biafra, in a statement by its Media and Publicity Secretary, Emma Powerful, denied that no member of the indigenous people of Biafra extorts from the public. The secessionist group accused the police of deliberately working to tarnish its image by leveling allegations. IPOB and Eastern Security Network are not criminals, but because the Nigerian government wants to bring indigenous people of Biafran down and turn Biafrans against Eastern Security Network, they constantly create fake news against the movement. When they cannot create any blackmail or propaganda against the indigenous people of Biafra and Eastern Security Network, they link every crime in Biafran land against the indigenous people of Biafra and Eastern Security Network. In the southeast today, Nigerian DSS has created several criminal gangs to claim to be indigenous people of Biafra and Eastern Security Network when arrested by security operatives. Some of these criminals were given police and army uniform for their covert criminal operation. Even when some petty criminals are caught, the Nigerian security forces will force them to confess to being indigenous people of Biafra or Eastern Security Network members. It is laughable that the Nigerian police force would constantly ridicule themselves in desperation to blackmail IPOB. Indigenous people of Biafra and Eastern Security Network do not call and threaten our people to support the movement. Neither do we engage in any activity that will harm the same people we are working to protect. The most indigenous people of Biafra can do is to solicit voluntary financial support from spirited Biafrans for sustenance of Eastern Security Network to continue in their core duty of protecting our lands from Fulani invaders. No one has or can be threatened to support the struggle, and that is what IPOB is saying concerning this issue. But I think these kind of propagandas, against the indigenous people of Biafra should actually stop. These things are not working anymore. That is just the reality. Maybe when they started earlier, it was actually working, but people no longer believe such news because they know what the indigenous people of Biafra stands for. So, bringing up all this propaganda against IPOB is still something I don't really get. Why will the Nigerian government be doing this kind of thing? Follow at all, make sense, my people. Let them just do the needful. Let them dialogue with these people and stop all these childish acts, that they are doing in Biafran land. They are causing more problem to the people, And the funniest thing is that the indigenous people of Biafra and other Biafran groups are not being affected. This cannot stop them, from doing or fighting for the freedom that they are seeking. Now, so the matter be, you don't hear as I carry this news come for you today. Please subscribe to this channel if you've not yet subscribed and turn on your notifications so that you get notified whenever we drop our spanking news. Thank you, my people, once again for joining us.